Okay, there we go. And
Hey, hey, Ella.
hey, well, hi, Charles.
Guess what?
What?
We're back, motherfucker.
Oh shit! So we are. Hello, everyone. We didn't see you
Hello.
come in there.
No.
Nice to see you. To see you, nice. Yes. We left it casually ajar. Apologise for our long and weighty absence in between season 1 and this, what we're calling season 2 of FMUF.
The official season 2 starts now.
Indeed, it does. Would you like to regale the people of where you've been, Charles?
Just down the shops.
Just
got lost on the way back from B&Q.
Yeah.
And,
oh man.
I've been at uni. That's where I've been. The hectic final year of uni meant that I had literally zero free time. And you've also been at uni, right?
Yes. Second year has officially been kicking my ass, but it is over until the next final and most horrible year. Save me, send Doritos.
Which may end up being our break between season 2 and season 3 of FMUF. We'll see how it goes. We don't have a plan.
Will. Indeed, because I mean, why plan things? This show is literally just two nerds yelling chaotically, and for some reason, people like listening to it, which we are still bamboozled by.
Yeah.
Yeah. So yeah, welcome back.
Yeah, I've finished uni now. I've got a job. I've finally settled, got my own place, and you're in your break between second and final year, so we've got time, or at least the illusion of time.
Yeah.
And we're gonna use it to provide you with sweet nonsense.
Yes, it's what you're all here for, just to hear us slowly losing our minds down the microphone.
Correct.
One game at a time. Speaking of games, LARP season has started in earnest.
Oh my god. Oh, not only have I not had time for FMUF during final year, I've not had time for anything remotely fun. So I've not been doing LARP, I've not been playing D&D, I've just filled whatever time I have for a break with video games because that's quick and easy. So I've finally been able to get back into LARP, and holy sugar honey iced tea. Have I missed it? And everyone adds it.
Oh bless you. That legit, man. I don't know how you've done it, because I would have gone stir crazy.
Yeah, I mean I would have gone September, and then all the way through till when I went to June. How many months is that? 10.
Yes. Too many.
Like nine months without LARP.
Yeah. Fucking hell, man. Yeah, no. That's ridiculous.
But it's been great. Like the hype was there, and then when I got there and just seeing people, it's quite funny. There's a few people at Empire, which is the system it was, that I've not actually interacted with their characters ever. But obviously I've been out of the game for so long, and it was so nice to see people. It'd be like, I don't give a shit that that fake me doesn't know fake you. Let's have a little cuddle and say hi.
Absolutely. It's fine. They could have met somewhere on the plot.
Yeah, we'll do it live.
Yeah, we're all in Dunhall. We know this. We know the hustle. We're all under the statue of Doom and octopuses.
Exactly.
Octopuses.
Octopi.
Octopi, Octobanana Dunhalf Pie, yes. Yeah, so it was Empire, the game we were just at. It was the Spring Equinox, which is my favourite.
Oh, of course.
Yeah, because I am a Spring Mage and therefore obligated to go doubly as fucking manic during Spring Equinox.
'Tis the season.
'Tis indeed the fucking season, and it is dope as hell. I love it. It's great. Because you were there from Thursday, weren't you?
Yeah, so I think we mentioned it before, but Empire, since it's such a big system, you're allowed to go there on the Thursday for like a modest fee and camp and hang out with everyone OC, which I always do. And since luckily my new job and my new place are located 20 minutes from the Empire site, I thought, why not? I'll just wander down after work, mosey on down.
Why not? Oh my goodness. This jammy motherfucker and his 20 minutes from site, it's
pretty good.
I have so much internal loathing. It's awful. It's ridiculous.
Yeah. It was good. Yeah. Nice to see everyone. Have a bit of a drink. It wasn't as hectic as normal. I wonder why. It was missing a certain component, I think. Made shit hit the fan. This half of the fight.
Oh god.
Yeah, and you got there on the Friday.
I did.
Just as the heavens opened or
Oh
continued to
man,
open.
fucking hell! I must have brought it from somewhere. The
Yeah.
Sky Gods were not pleased with me that day.
Not at all.
I walked into Empire with all my kit, and I'd be going to Essex to stay with a friend for a week afterwards as well. So I had more kit than usual.
Yeah.
And the second I get to the freaking hub, in order to try and make the long trek from the hub to Wintermark, which is a field away, the heavens decided, fuck this nerd in particular, and torrential rain did fall upon my face.
Yeah. No joke. We were just chilling in the hall, being like, "Oh wow, this is pretty heavy rain." I was thinking maybe maybe I'll go get some food, but now I can just wait here in the dry. And then all of a sudden we see your soggy ass
limping my way up.
Yeah.
Like, just fine. Smacks of E1 last year, it really did.
That was the fear, because it had been the beauty of oh no, not the beauty. What's the opposite of that?
The horror.
The horror, quite extreme, but yeah, we'll go with it. The horror of living so close to the Empire site. I don't know if I mentioned it. It's only a 20-minute drive. That whenever it rains where I live, I know that it's raining at the Empire field. So for the past 2 weeks, it had been pissing it down. I was just dreading how soggy and muddy the site was going to get. And the fact that I turned up on Thursday and cars were already getting stuck and churning out the mud, it was not looking good. But it was kind of back and forth and touch and go throughout the whole weekend. Overall, it wasn't as bad as the E1s that we've talked about before.
Shudder.
Yeah, which is a nightmare fuel. But it was pretty damp.
Yeah, it was an interesting weekend for the PD weather machine. It decided to throw the hissiest of fits at all of us for existing.
Kept on our toes, definitely.
It really does. And you know what, PD, for that we thank you, because otherwise we'd get complacent, clearly, and can't be having that.
Definitely not. Yeah, well done to PD for organising the weather.
Oh God,
the giant weather machine that they clearly have.
Clearly, somewhere in the God tent, under all the photos.
Tickets paid for.
Yeah, man. We even buy concessions, bitch.
Yeah, sacrifice a few goats to the almighty Zeus.
Mm-hmm. Oh no, Zeus, no. We don't want him anywhere near that. That is so banned. Good lord. Right, onto the Friday in-game stuff.
Oh, the actual in-game stuff. Now we don't want to talk about that. I want to talk about the weather. That's what we do.
Yeah, we're Brits. We just talk about the weather. Now that all the Americans have tuned out.
Yeah, now you're pissed off.
Yeah, now you know the true Brits are listening. Yeah, so timing's a little bit earlier for Empire, isn't it, than most games?
Yeah, was it 6 or 7? I can't remember.
It was 6, yeah.
It's been ages.
Yeah, you don't know when it is anymore. It could have been midnight. You wouldn't have known.
Yeah, 6. Dunhath have their little family meeting normally, which is fun. It just sort of catches everyone up about who the newbies are, because we're quite a big hall. People are always bringing new friends and whatever. There was quite some cool people there. And also what the family's going to be doing. So if you want to get in on any of the action, tell them what interesting tidbits you're going to be pursuing throughout the event. And then from there, you just go out into the world and cause havoc.
Yeah.
Were you at the family meeting, or had you already gone off to cause havoc?
Well, it was a bit of both. It was a bit of both there for a minute. I can't remember exactly what I was doing, but I was caught on way to the family meeting. I had to sort out some shenanigans there.
Yeah.
Specifically, which we'll get on to the 8 o'clock super secret meeting.
Mm-hmm. Okay,
which
I'm
I
intrigued.
will tell you. So before super secret stuff happened, we went essentially from family meeting straight to a skirmish.
Yeah, we did. That was a nice way to get me back into the LARP fighting game.
Yeah. Because we were in chainmail from about 5:30.
Yeah, I love to get it on early.
Yeah, because you know that Chris, bless him, Chris Elson is gonna come running along, like, get in your chainmail, rip your gannets out. Like, oh shit, okay.
Screaming at you, yeah.
Yeah, get a shield. Scary times,
yeah.
Scary times.
Where were we in that skirmish? It was on a battle. Was it against the Jotun?
Yeah. It was Jotun. Yeah. Good
Just a big old fight. We were pushing them back, probably being heroic and saving some people from them.
Hell yeah.
But it was quite a straightforward, like 30 of you, 30 of them kind of type deal, wasn't it? And we completely annihilated them. Yeah, it was a nice warm up. Like sort of, I think we ended up being sort of skirmishy, and we ended up flanking around behind them, didn't we? And just chopping them to pieces, and it was quite cool. It was a nice bit of role play at the end where we were shouting at them to surrender and retreat from the field, and they obliged and shook hands and everything. Very well mannered for orcs.
Well, yeah, they are, and like I think that's it's a nice part of the Empire, because whereas with sort of a lot of systems you can get the thing of falling into the routine of every single enemy you fight is the same. Like you've got spot enemy number 1, spot enemy number 2, and they pretty much all just come at you until they die. But with the barbarian armies, they all have their very different briefs, the same as the nations. And with the Jotun, we have a joke that they are the good guys of the Empire.
Yeah, exactly. The Empire are the bad guys. Jotun are the good.
Yeah, because they are. They really are. They're great.
It's like you said, in LARP and D&D and stuff. Once you get in a fight, it's easy to think, it's not over until they're all dead. And just keep slashing until they stop moving. So it was quite interesting with, like you said, the different behaviors of the barbarians. With the Jotun, it is very much you've lost the fight. There's no point in just uselessly throwing your life away. So they surrender, and since there's quite a lot of respect between Wintermark, the nation that we play, and the Jotun, or at least we're trying to get the respect back.
Trying, being the effing word here.
It means that you can shake hands, and even the ones that are bleeding out on the ground, you'll wish them a happy afterlife, and you'll say well fought, and almost a note to the OC on the OC side, because these people have fought for you, or fought for your entertainment, I guess, as crew.
Yeah.
So it's quite nice to see that in play.
Yeah, can sort of give the crew some game as well as you, because at the end of the day, unlike with most systems, you get perma crew. Empire you get perma crew too, but a lot of the time they're player volunteers.
Yeah, of course, yeah.
Which is always very fun, and it sort of brings a new, fresh, almost urgency to the battle, where you're fighting fellow players, not just crew, because you know that these people are going to be fighting as if they're playing.
Of course.
Yeah, which sort of it changes up the dynamic slightly. But with this specific fight, it was very interesting because obviously I used to play a Navarre character.
Yes.
So our big thing was skirmishing, really, and light skirmishing being the operative thing. So I'm still sort of breaking out of the habit of
running.
Like whenever I go skirmishing or any of that sort of thing, what I want to do is slip into the mindset of slip out, go hit a thing, and then run the fuck away.
Yeah.
Can't really do that anymore.
No, you're being anchored down by a bunch of steel rings.
Yeah, that's the chainmail. It's a whole thing. It's a whole thing.
Yeah.
But it was a really nice sort of fight to sort of with the Jotun, an interesting way to introduce new players to the way Wintermark fight, almost, just because it's that sort of the mutual respect that the two sides have for each other. It's pretty awesome.
Yeah, and they fight in quite a similar way. So it'll be battle lines. The Jotun don't tend to utilize any kind of magic or archery or anything like that. So it's quite, like you said, it's a good way to introducing people to the combat and warming up again for straight after time in, to have these two big shield lines fighting off and dancing with each other, and then we get to throw in some nice skirmishing and flanking and wielding them around and stuff. So it was quite a textbook little skirmish, I'd say, with how.
Oh yeah, absolutely. It was wonderful. By the book, like as a technical skirmish, I'd say that was like as close to perfect as you're gonna get to one.
Yeah.
Like there's no imperial casualties.
Yeah.
Everyone came away smiling. It was good fun. It's good fun.
Yeah,
only mild heresy was committed.
That's not textbook.
I mean, I had to slip one in.
Yeah.
So my character's whole thing at the minute, I say heresy. Her thing is that she's very big on sort of ancestral worship and letting the ancestors who were the Wintermark religion before the Way and the Empire came along sort of reinforce your belief in the Way. Specifically for her, the belief of courage, the virtue of courage. So the ancestor that she implores as like a paragon of courage is he's basically Robin Hood but with more chainmail. So at the end of that fight there, I got to go up to one of the Jotun and shake their hand and say, "The beggar's courage is with you." And they looked so bamboozled. It was great.
Is this idolatry? Because like you said, that would probably be it's either permacrew or there may have been a player volunteer. So they would have been like, "Say what?"
Yep.
Either way, they know very much that's towing the line of heresy / idolatry, and which is a big thing in Empire. There's pretty much High Guard's thing, I guess, that is inquisitions at this point. That's all I really know about them, is they like to inquisit any kind of heresy. So people are going to come after you if you say it to the wrong people.
It's fine.
Which is awesome.
It's fine. Yeah, man.
Yeah. Meanwhile,
it's quite fun.
Oh, go ahead. Meanwhile, my running joke with my character is that whenever I fight against the Jotun, I am seeking out my Jotun bride out there on the battlefield. So it was a nice to get back in the swing of that as we're marching up to the Sentinel Gate where you go through to do all your skirmishing and fighting. And they're like, she's out there somewhere. You know, our eyes will gaze. We'll meet across the battlefield, and that'll be it. So it was nice to do that. And that little bit of roleplay at the end of the fight where you're all shaking hands and saying "well fought," and I'm just there like, where is she?
As my partner, my future wife.
Exactly.
Oh, bless.
That was always a running joke with my character.
Indeed, and it's especially funny because we play siblings, and
yeah, we do. I forgot to mention. I don't know if we mentioned that before.
Yes, we play siblings now.
Yeah, it's fun. It's really funny. Because especially since a lot of people come looking for you because you're running around meeting people, and they're like, "Yeah, she's like this and this," and I'm like, "Yeah, I know who she is. She's my buddy's sister, but she's like, she's not here. You know, she's less likely to be here than anywhere else in the field."
Yeah. I mean, I feel like the second people come looking for me is the second they should just accept that they're never going to find me. Yeah. Because Bill, you've got to wait for me to come to you.
Yeah, exactly. You just got to say your name 3 times in a mirror.
Yeah.
And turn the lights.
Bleed on it a bit.
Yeah. It's a blood ritual to get you to appear.
Like the second, just yell "spring" in a place, and it will probably appear at some point. Yeah, or just yell "our halogen sucks," and then you'll very quickly find out opinions on that.
Beggar is a noob.
Bitch.
Oh man. What else happened on the Friday?
I can regale with the meeting story. What else did you get up to?
I don't think anything before whatever time your meeting would have been, so we'll go with that.
Yeah. So as part of this whole the beggar is awesome subscribe.
Yeah.
Is pretty much well, it's interesting. It's pretty much Robin Hood's Merry Men.
Yeah.
And I have a few of those I see now.
Yeah, you do.
Yeah, I do. And we gathered at 8 o'clock at the Lover's Anchor in Nebraska. We had a lovely little chat, and it was awesome because I forgot how much I just enjoy being vaguely shady and ever so slightly menacing. It's great fun. Yeah, it's awesome, and it was a bit of a gang meeting, a bit of a squad meet. Something I enjoy with sort of running groups at LARP is you can sort of get an idea of where everyone's game wants to go and see what you can do to try and push them in that direction.
Yeah, of course.
Yeah, and I just find that sort of really rewarding, where you can sort of just enable people to go and do cool shit.
Yeah.
So one of the big things that happened during that meeting was that I ended up hallowing a key of one of my little beggars, and bless his little heart.
That was Pete, right? Wasn't it?
It was Pete.
Yeah, boy.
And bless him, he was like, "Oh, I don't know which one to choose," because within Courage, you can hallow items to very have certain RP effects on them.
Yeah, I'm well aware.
Just like I did to my dear brother's sword last time.
Non-consensual hallowing.
It was non-consensual Halloween, but it was very funny. For me. And this one was a consensual Halloween, and the Hallow was to practice your beliefs no matter the consequence.
Wow.
Which, as you can imagine, like,
risky.
Yeah, it went very interestingly and ended with him almost getting inquisited for going around saying, follow the beggar.
Yeah.
Which is like, Farron had a good laugh at that, because it's not, whilst even not being half of the business, it is very funny.
Yeah. That's that. Yeah, toeing the line there. Yeah. That would have been funny for Pete's first Empire if he just got fucking inquisited, and then we were all just there watching him get his head chopped off.
Yeah. So his mates. So, you know.
Hope you brought backup kit.
So good, so good. What's quite fun about the Wintermark sort of traditional religion is that they've tried to inquisite people for it before.
Yes, they have.
For ancestral beliefs and looking into ancestral knowledge and using it to inform your own belief in the way, and that sort of thing. And eventually they dropped it because they figured out they had nothing on Wintermark at all.
Yeah, they did not have the numbers to try and enforce it either.
Exactly, because let's face it, if the Inquisition wanted to try and fuck with Wintermark, the whole of Wintermark would be like, excuse me.
Yeah, how about no?
Good luck with your tiny little mage armor self. I'm just going to stand behind this shield wall right here.
Yeah.
It's great. Have fun. Yeah, it was an interesting Friday. I believe we got drunk.
Yes. Because Friday was my birthday.
Oh yes.
I can't believe I forgot about that. Yeah. I have the joy of E2 always falling on my birthday. So it means that everyone's already booked the time off work, and I never have to organise a birthday party because they come all the way from France and Scotland just to see me.
Of course. Sure. That's exactly what happens.
But the downside was that after drinking quite heavily on Thursday, as is the norm at Empire, I was then wandering around on Friday, meeting people, checking out the pubs, and in Highguard, after a long time of not having an IC bar, they had, for one night only on the Friday night, the Nist Pute, which is their amazing little bar there, and which is the famous bar in Anvil that does the 7 virtues shots.
Yep.
For all the seven virtues, there's a different spirit. You do a shot of it, and then at the end, there's an 8th one called the Burning Heretic. So I was in there just hanging out, and as we were doing a lot of sort of impromptu bar crawl, and Matt, one of the guys in our group, sees me, drags me to the bar, and is very reluctant for me to say no to receiving as a birthday treat these 7 shots. Sam was there with me as well, and he was forced to do the same. And so we're going through those one at a time. And at the same time, Jo and her, Joanna, comes in with a bunch of other brass coasters in their beautiful coloured garb, and they do their amazing rendition of "Has Anyone Seen My Cock?"
Ah.
So I wander over to Jo, and I'm like, "Oh, hey, how's it going?" And she looks a little bit like confused and nervous, and I'm like, "Oh, this is another example of I haven't met her character." But the reason was that she was about to perform this show, and I just sort of like barged in and gone hello.
Yeah.
And I was like, "Oh, I'm sorry. I'll be quiet now and leave."
Suddenly a Wintermarker.
Yeah, and it was noisy as hell, but in the bar, but you could the singing still came through. And Mike, have you had the joy of watching or listening to Has Anyone Seen My Cock?
I have not yet, and I'm very annoyed about it.
My God, it's amazing. They have props
by the time I get there.
They have costumes. They have like a unicorn with a cock as the horn. They've got the cocktopus, which is a guy with just a mangled mess of spaghetti of knobs everywhere. Yeah. They had the cockmingo, it's like a flamingo with a just a knob as a mouth. They got many things. And it's all part of the song, so they'll like wait outside, and then when their verse comes about the cocktopus or whatever, he'll come in and add to it.
Wow.
Fucking hell, I was creasing, and whilst like intermittently having to do these disgusting shots, and I'm like, I don't care what virtue this is, just get it out of me.
Oh God.
Oh,
Courage was obviously the best one though, right?
Yes, of course. Yeah. It was such a bizarre night, and Chris and David were in there as well. who
Yes.
Chris had moved to Brass Coast as well recently, and this was before David had gone to join him. And so they were having a nice OC/IC like argument about how David should just kill his character and join. And I was there like, don't worry guys, I'll follow David around all weekend and I'll heal him up whenever he goes down, just so he never leaves the beauty of Wintermark.
Yeah, we miss his hair already.
Yeah, it's true. We've lost a significant member of our hair guild.
Yep.
Because Connor wasn't there this weekend and he's got beautiful hair.
Sad times.
Yeah. The Nispute was probably the highlight of the Friday for me because it was just ridiculous. That has anyone seen my cock? Might have been the highlight of the weekend.
Oh man. Yeah. I'm just sad I missed it.
Yeah. We'll have to ask her where they're gonna be performing next time and catch it then.
Absolutely. She's good. Yeah, and then I believe we all found ourselves back at the Dunnings tent and
so we try and sort of have like an unofficial family night on Friday night where we all sing songs and drink together and whatever and catch up in character a bit. And obviously everyone has their own agendas and whatever to catch up on, so it's not enforced, but Fridays are always a good one to sing the songs and learn all the new songs that people have brought and whatever. And apparently shred your thumb to places playing ukulele. Do you want to take that one?
Oh, I forgot that was the Friday. Damn. Yeah. So I got very drunk and my guys, I had brought a few new songs with me to Anvil this time, and I was very excited about them because they're all very stupid and very fun. So I was going around singing the songs, doing the thing, trying to impress a lovely Dornish lady who was in there too.
Yeah, a very lovely Dornish lady.
Yeah, that was good fun. I gave her a flower, she gave me a flower. It was excellent.
There was a significance to the flower though, right?
Yeah, we both gave each other red ones.
Mm-hmm. And is it the Dornish Flower Festival?
Yep.
Where each different flower and different color of flower signifies a different thing, different emotion, different message. And the red one, I think, signified what was
That's
it?
love. Yeah.
That would be love.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Spooky times.
Masters to go.
It's like, there's a pretty lady, I'm distracted now.
Throws flowers.
Yeah. It's like, hang on, let me go and just be aggressively queer for a second. Your normal service will resume shortly. Yeah, it was good. And I played the filth version of Teenage Dirtbag.
Yes,
yeah. And then a few others. But during this madness of me not being able to feel much because alcohol apparently just completely numbs all of my nervous system. Mm-hmm. I'd completely just annihilated my thumb, where I'd just been obviously holding the neck of my ukulele and just like, obviously like the friction is fucking giving me a blister. So I woke up the next morning and the thing had popped on my thumb, and I was like,
it wasn't a blister, like you'd torn the blister off. And it was just raw.
It was gross. It was like proper deep shit as well. And I was like, maybe that'll just like go away by itself. Spoilers, it didn't. Yeah, so obviously we start kitting up to go monstering, and I'm just there like, ow.
Yeah.
Everything sucks. My head hurts. My thumb hurts. Why is sunlight existing? What the fuck? Who invited you? But yeah, we did eventually drag ourselves out of the comfort of our bell tents.
Yes.
To go monstering.
Yeah, monstering. We were Jotun.
Jotun again. Yep.
Yeah, I haven't been Jotun since my first ever Empire event, and it's nice because since the Jotun wear bright reds and very Celtic clothing, which wait a minute. That's exactly what we wear.
It is.
So it's literally just orc mask and then my normal Empire kit over my body.
Yeah,
so
man.
It's nice and easy.
Hecking great.
Comfortable, and it looks pretty good. Whereas normally since I've invested quite the time and effort into my other monstering kit, it's just normal chainmail, and then maybe I'll tie on some rags in specific colors just for a bit of identification. But so that's nice. Nice and comfortable. And I can't remember what we were trying to do, what we were defending or fighting or...
So we were essentially trying to hold the forest We'd got people in the fort as a kind of distraction, but the main thing was that we had 3 VIPs wandering the field.
I remember now,
Yeah, and the Imperials had to, which was the Nivar, Dawn, want to say Varushka?
Yeah, no.
Maybe.
Maybe, yeah, I'm not sure.
I can't remember if it was Originals or not. Either Origin or League.
Yeah.
Yeah, and they all had to try and get the VIPs and get the things that the VIPs had.
Yes.
It was an interesting fight because the Jotun are very honourable and they like to set the rules of engagement before going into a fight and upholding the rules of engagement. And if the opposing side breaks these rules of engagement, the likelihood is that the Jotun will break them right back at you.
Yeah, exactly. It's eye for an eye, really, with the Jotun.
Exactly, which is fair enough because I feel like we in Wintermark would do the exact same. Like if you shit on us, we're not going to turn around and say, "Oh, thanks for the shit, thanks for the compost, friend." That's not going to be a thing. We're going to throw your shit back at you. So the Navarre, at a point during the battle, started executing some Jotuns.
Yeah, they did.
Yeah, so the Jotuns started executing back.
Ooh, I didn't see that. Holy
sugar. Oh, yeah. But only the Navarre.
Oh.
Because awesome. Those are the only ones who had broken the agreement.
Yeah, I always, when I monster, I always end up fighting the Navarre. And I guess it's because they're everywhere, because like you said, they run around and get in the woods and whatever. They're always really fun to fight against because the battle changes. The battle never stagnates. You know, like they're very good at pulling back and flanking and whatever. It keeps everything quite interesting. Isn't it? They're quite funny to fight against.
Yeah, absolutely. Like when I was playing them, our big sort of thing, because I was in their scouting unit.
Yes. Yeah.
So yeah, what we used to do was run in, ascertain the situation, maybe punch a bit, engage for 5 seconds tops, and then fuck off again.
Yeah,
and leave them going, oh, what the fuck? Oh, Jesus, what the fuck was that? Why are they in the bushes? Oh, God. And it's great fun. It's great fun. But obviously against like the Jotun, which are very heavy, they have shields, they have giant spears, all of that. They're very formed. The Navarre tactics can go one of 2 ways.
Yeah.
And I feel like it really helped to a certain extent. But it got quite crunchy for them in the end, as I remember.
Yeah, I heard.
They lost quite a few big people.
Yeah, they apparently they lost like 3 captains or something, all within about 50 feet of each other. Like one bad engagement lost them some big figures.
Yeah, so shout out to the players of Kiartan and Tor.
Yes,
2 big ones I found out about. Yeah, because I knew them, absolutely. I knew them as my Navarre character, and they were always very nice to me. So, thank you guys, and I hope you have fun with your next characters.
Yeah, it's always fun things to do, is making new characters. But the sad thing is always, like you said, you know, when you know people as your old character and you lose all those memories, you can't just be like, oh, remember that time or whatever. It's quite an upsetting thing. You do get attached to these fake personas. But yeah, best of luck to them in whatever they do next. Yeah,
I feel like it's hard for the first event after you get sort of back into it, and then eventually you sort of getting back into the swing of things and finding your game again. It's all about sort of finding a different niche to be in for a bit.
I mean, I say this, but touch wood, I've still not lost a character.
Yeah.
Although, you know, we'll talk about it later, but it got close to it on the Sunday battle.
Yeah,
but, we'll get there. Still on the Saturday monstering. I believe it. So okay, backtrack a sec.
Yeah.
Last event I went to, I think so last year. You introduced me to, I think it was one of your beggar gang friends, Dornish guy.
Oh, Scrappy, yes.
Yeah, Scrappy. So when I met him, he got on his knees in front of me and started pledging like to owe me a favor. And you know, thanking me for this and that, and Breeden not liking this sort of being sort of an authoritative figure. He doesn't enjoy that, so I instantly sat cross-legged in front of him as he was on his knees, you know, pledging all this allegiance and whatever. It was quite a fun moment, and I kept reminding him whenever I saw him, and I did the same this event. And when I saw him, I was like, "You still owe me that favor." And then, like you said, we were fighting against Dawn on the Saturday morning as monsters. And I see this guy, and we're fighting them, and it's not going well for them. And we charge into a flank of a bunch of Dawn that don't see us coming, and as they're retreating, we're hacking at legs and whatever. One of the guys that goes down is old Scrappy.
Yep.
It was, I don't think I struck the blow that did it, but I was definitely part of it. And I later found out that he did not survive said battle. So I inadvertently fucking threw my favor in the water, just completely, and got in the bin there.
Yeah, you did. And also killed one of my gang members. Yeah, God damn it.
I did, yeah. And that's the sad part. Like in no way was I targeting him at all. Like that's there's no fun in that. There's no game in targeting people when you're monstering.
Yeah.
But yeah, that was just how it went. We charged into a flank, and then I as I was chopping mindlessly at people, I realized that I recognized one of the faces. But yeah, I assumed, because the Jotun, like you said, are quite honorable. And throughout the battle, people were being, handed back to be healed up and whatever, and that they would in return give us some of our wounded, and back and forth. So I was like thinking, he'll be fine.
He was not fine.
He was not fine. Spoilers.
Mm.
Oh man, I feel really bad. Did he did you talk to him about how it went down, or?
Yeah, I did. I sort of well, because I was getting food at the time, because I was like, fuck this noise. After the monstering slot, I essentially just went, no, I need to get some medicine. Yeah, I need to get some medicine on my damn thumb. I'm very tired, and I just need a fucking minute. So I sort of went and sat in Chris and David's tent for a bit, and they sort of managed to get me back on my feet after half an hour and a can of Dr. Pepper. So yeah, it's mild panic, mild disaster avoided there. Got myself to a medical tent, fixed myself up, got myself some food, feeling better. Then went down the road, doing my little old merry thing with my fucking wolf head and my stupid swooshy robe. And then this asshole, fucking Scrappy, Keanu, this is you, jerkface, comes over to me. He's like, oh, Scrappy's dead.
It was a really, really handsome orc that did it.
Yeah. It was just like, bitch, how? And he's like, oh yeah, no, just just got left behind. Yeah.
He did. He really did.
Yeah, you should probably find that one out soon. And I was like, well, this is gonna be funny. Yeah. So I found out a bit later in the day, because I bimbled up to his house in Dawn to see where he was.
Yeah.
And I asked after him to his house, and his house had a chuckle and then said, oh, he's dead.
Oh, I remember you saying you were pissed as hell because they were laughing about it, weren't they?
Yeah. So Farron, the kind of character that she is not one to take revenge straight away. So it's a bit of a slow burn on that one. I've got to figure out something funny to do, because currently there's a house in Dawn on Farron's shit list.
Excellent. That's good fun. Find some spring curse that will just turn their genitals into worms or something.
Yeah, we'll do something funny. It'll be interesting.
Spring rituals are pretty funky.
They are. They can get very weird. It's very fun.
Yep.
I got out of there, and then the heavens once again decided to fucking open.
Yeah, I mean, it was either torrential rain or blaring sunshine, and it could change on a dime, and it was just a pain in the ass when it's not as easy as putting on and off a cloak on a thin jacket or a waterproof or whatever. It's like I have either no waterproof clothing or I have my fuck off wool cloak with a fur mantle. So if it suddenly switches to blaring sunshine, I just turn into a wintermark puddle on the floor.
Yeah,
melted.
Yeah, I mean, it wasn't even cold rain. It was fairly balmy as well.
Yeah.
Was the issue.
Yeah. So you want to be dry, but you also don't want to melt.
Yeah, there was a whole thing. I ended up hiding in Loomies for a lot of it, because I just couldn't go anywhere. It was just torrential.
Yeah.
Just like, well, I'm just gonna sit here and have a chat to Verva and try not to think about the downpour. Oh god, it's going down my spine. Everything sucks. That was the whole thing. And and then we made plans for farming rituals.
Yes, yeah. You had lots of rituals on the go.
I did. I ended up doing four rituals that weekend.
Nice. Not bad.
It's like by myself. These is a fair amount. consider I'm not that ranked up yet for Spring, but I did get to reuse a straw mask, which is awesome.
Yes, yeah.
Fucking love a straw mask. It's so good. It basically boosts you up a rank of Spring from what you were. So Farron went from being slightly hopped up on Spring Magic to being mega hopped up on Spring Magic.
Yes.
And I got to see the glorious, glorious look, which I forever treasure in my heart. Bless you, new players, and your adorable faces. Because the second I bring out the fake blood and the dagger, y'all look so nervous. And like, OC, I want to go, it's going to be fine. Don't worry.
Yeah.
I see Farron's like, this is the best.
Yeah, it's time to bleed on some people.
Yeah. And get them to bleed all over the floor. Yay!
Oh, man. That's good. Yeah, I think the ritual that we talked about on a previous episode was the straw mask one, which you did as Pip, right?
I did.
Yes,
Blessed New Spring. Yeah.
There was an echoing in the forest and whatever. Very cool.
We didn't get the forest echo this time.
No, because they've filled it out with tents now, so it's not quite as open and eerie. But we'll find a new spot.
We'll find a new spooky spot. Absolutely. We did it at the Reggio though, which was pretty fun because
Awesome.
it's a lovely space where lots of people come to watch rituals for fun. So I got to put on the full shouty winter marker. Gotten some blood before water's in there.
Awesome. Yeah, use our motto.
Hell yeah. Yeah. We know our branding. We know what we're about, son.
Definitely. Trying to think of some of the drama that I pursued. There's a few things that have happened. Well, it's all about the Jotun, really. They're quite a big thing for Wintermark. We're trying to be nice to them, and everyone else is trying to kill them.
Yeah.
But one of the things, there's a lot of history between Wintermark and the Jotun. They were once at peace or whatever, or they at least had a ceasefire. And they have a special meeting place, an imaginative name, which is essentially a rock in a field. And in last year, there was an event where there was a battle that was actually at the meeting place, or at least nearby to it. And it was a Varushkan character, destroyed it, or at least desecrated it. And so that's a huge drama for us because it means the Jotun are like, well, obviously they don't want peace. They don't want peace anymore. So we're just going to keep on killing. So it was we were tasked, a few of us in our hall, for tracking down this Varushkan guy and finding out what kind of reparations could be made. And tying into that, actually, there was which we were both there for, was the Jotun delegation that came and visited Anvil.
Yeah, absolutely. Oh my God, the honor corridor.
Yes, the honor corridor. So Dunhearth, I think it's our second or third time now, we've volunteered to honor guard the Jotun delegation, to show, turn up in a show of force, to either, both just be a show of force because they respect military might and stuff, and also just in case any stabby Navari or anyone else comes trying to assassinate them. So it's just a big show of force for that. The first time we did it, we did the full walk them to the place where the meeting was being held, and then stand outside that meeting guarding it for the entire time. This time we didn't do that because it lasts bloody ages. But what we did was we formed the honor corridor, as we've called it, at the entrance to Anvil, which is happens to be where all the OC catering is. Yeah. So we were standing there waiting for the Jotuns to turn up, for the plot team to get it all sorted and ready, whilst dozens and dozens of people would march through, just going to get a burrito or a pizza or like a bratwurst, or the various selection we had. And every single time someone went through, we would just all cheer, raise our swords, raise our tankards, without any explanation to anyone about what the hell was going on.
Yep.
And we got some quite funny interactions with people, like dancing through and, like raising
trying to go around us.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, and we'll boo them.
Some people didn't like it. And it's like, the joke was essentially Dunnings don't know how to make friends normally. All we can do is yell at people and hope you like us.
Yeah, exactly. Like, is this socializing? Just shouting at people.
Yeah. Are we best friends now? Oh, it was great fun. And there was that one Dornish lass who came through and then went through again.
Yeah, like, a few people went back and forth just to get a bit more of the love.
Yeah, and we gave it gladly every time. It was awesome. It was good fun. And then about 5 minutes before the Jotun actually came, Elson was like, "All right, guys, shut the fuck up, because the Jotun's gonna come through. You gotta fucking cheer."
Yeah.
You're gonna look like Gims.
Yeah.
Like, Mom, you're embarrassing me.
Oh man. Yeah. So funny though.
Oh, it was
There's so
funny.
many people being like, "What the hell is going on?" It's like, "Hey!"
Hey, we
There's
don't
no
know.
explanation. Just shout at them.
Yeah. You're like, we don't know what's going on. We're bored. Don't at us. But yeah, eventually the Odin did come. I'm not sure what the outcome of that meeting was. Were you there for that?
I didn't stay because the heavens opened once again just as we arrived at where they were having the meeting. I think one of the main things was they were discussing whether we can get an embassy put in, so some neutral ground, and we're happy to put that wherever in our territory, on the line or in their territory. But the main thing was going back to that meeting place rock thing that I talked about. Is they didn't care about the fact that it was destroyed. They wanted reparations to be paid in the form of a weregild, which is essentially a monetary payment for the Jotun that were killed protecting it, because obviously they were there expecting it to be a ceasefire area, and then they were just slaughtered by these Varushkans. So they wanted like 200 thrones or something, which is a lot of money.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's a lot of dollar, man.
So they don't really care who pays or whatever. And so we took that number forth, and in our communication with Varushka, so Aaron has had a few run-ins with them, so he's got some friends over there. He took them that number, and from what it sounds like, is they're happy to give up this guy that did it. We had some drama a few events ago where Wintermark did something to slight Varushka, and like we as a whole, we sort of sent some guys over to handle it. So Aaron's built up a bit of respect with them. So they're happy to like throw this guy under the bus and help pay for the money and whatever. So that'll be quite interesting to see if that helps build some bridges with the old Jotun.
Yeah, for sure. I'm really hoping that we get that.
Yeah, it's kind of an interesting one. Like, there's a lot of people pushing for it, and whether it ever actually happens or not, we'll see. But it's quite a lot of plot there in building up relations with this barbarian nation.
Yeah, man.
But it's quite funny because due to his interactions with Varushka and all this, Aaron is they're considering naming him a warden of Varushka, which has never happened outside of the nation. He'll be the first non-Varushkan to get the title. And it's quite funny because he every event. So in Wintermark we have the tradition, if you do something heroic or extreme or awesome, then you can earn a name based around it. And he keeps every event. He's like, I'm gonna get a name this time. I'm gonna get a name or I die. And Varushka are now recognizing his efforts and giving him a title. And he's like, why will no one in Wintermark bloody give me a name?
Yep. Yeah. Name senpai.
Yeah, exactly.
I mean, the thing is now all the Scots are going to be like, well, now we're not going to do it out of spite, are we? So
yeah, exactly. If you ask for it, I want never gets.
Exactly.
I still don't have a name, but I'm not too worried. It'll happen.
Yeah. Just die heroically in front of one of us and we'll go, okay then.
Yeah, I'll get a name post-mortem. That's all that matters.
You'll do. Fine. Have something. Have a pity name.
Yes.
I've named 2 people.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. I named Kjellard and Taya.
Yeah.
Ashley and Lizzie's characters upon their survival running out of Summer Suak.
Yes. Yeah.
Yeah. Bless their hearts. Hope to see them back at some point.
Yeah, unfortunately they couldn't make it, but we'll see them soon.
Indeed. Cousins.
Oh,
and speaking of plot that happened. Shady sword guy. Oh
my god, that was awesome.
Yes.
Yeah, that was a fun little bit of plot.
Oh, that's so much fun.
Shady sword guy. Do you want to take this one?
I can do. Okay, so we're chilling in the hall. Let me set the scene here. Chilling in the hall, doing our thing, making deals, singing songs, yelling cousin at each other for no goddamn reason. And then this guy comes into the hall, and he's sort of dressed in what could be Summer Suak clothing. Sort of the long coat, quite pale clothing, pale palette, and quite muddy. Comes along, and he goes up to Ailson. I'm not really paying attention at this point because people come and talk to Ailson all the time, and this guy's a Wintermarker, blah 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 blah. So I'm chatting shit to somebody, and then Ailson summons me over, and he goes, "Farron, can you just this guy wants me to take this sword that he's offering me. And I look over, and sure enough, this guy's got like a little baggie in which a lammy is representing a weapon that he's carrying around in this bag. And Elson just goes, I don't know if I trust it. Can you have a look and then tell me whether I should take this sword? And I was like, okay, I'm gonna have a look. And I take a look at this fucking lammy. Sure enough, it's not great.
No.
Yeah, this lammy was hallowed to something. I'm not sure what. I couldn't tell that from reading the lamb. But what it essentially says was that anyone who picks up this sword feels immediately a spike in aggression, anger, jealousy, and wrath. Yeah, so like the second Elson would have picked this thing up, he probably would have been hacking at everyone in the hall.
Yeah, almost definitely.
Yeah, and going fucking stir crazy. So I just go, yeah, no, don't do that thing. That's a bad thing. We should not take that. At which point the hall is pretty much on high alert.
Because, instantaneously I'm there like sword on lap.
Yep, because someone has just tried to hand our bannerman a cursed weapon. Yeah. We're not happy with that. So we're all on fucking high alert, ready for this guy to throw down or do something stupid. And he essentially tells us that his contract with his employer, and we couldn't get the name or anything out of them. All we got out of them that it was a he, a person of the male persuasion, and that was simply by a pronoun slip up that we managed to go to.
Yeah, and afterwards they were like, she or they, like just like, nope, too late.
Like, yeah, no, you fucked up, son. It was quite amusing. And and he essentially sort of begged us to take the sword and said, oh God, if you don't take it, I haven't fulfilled my contract, and then I have to go back and he'll try and kill me and I will probably die. Everything will be awful. Oh my God, everything's the worst. Why are you sure you guys won't take this? You have to help me, kind of thing. At which point Farron's like, oh no, this guy's an innocent.
Yeah.
Shit.
Very much just been caught in a contract.
Yeah. So like we can't just stab him up in an alley anymore. This just becomes a whole lot more complicated.
Yeah.
So he eventually leaves because essentially everyone in the Dunnings was ready to plow him into the floor.
Yeah, it was quite funny. Like Elson's like, we're about to revoke hospitality, which is obviously the fact that we can't just kill anyone that walks into a hole. We have to offer them hospitality. And he was like, in 3, 2, 1, and then like all of us get up with swords ready to go at him, and he just runs out of the hall.
Yeah, I've never seen a man move so fucking quickly in my life. Good God, he was gone. But yeah, we followed him.
Yes, we all split up and did our like shady, hanging out at corners, pretending not to be looking kind of thing. It was awesome.
It was very amusing. Because, well, me being the most noticeable one probably of the people tailing, because I have a giant wolf on my head. I have green scales, and I'm not very subtle, is what we're saying. I also jangle a lot because I wear a lot of jewelry as this character. So I was essentially sort of the lure for this thing. I went and stood by the fire. And he went into another hall to try and pawn it off on someone else.
He just tried to sell the thing to someone.
Yeah, which didn't work. And and then essentially I followed him and he eventually noticed that I was following him, because obviously he would, and was like, why are you following me? It's like, well, I just want to talk. So thimble up, have a chat to him, managed to get some more plot info out, where basically the exact wording of his contract was that he had to give the sword to Elson, with which he could do with it what he wanted after that, and he would be free of his contract. So I sort of tried to work it out with him to figure some ways around the contract, figure out some loopholes, classic shady Naga shit.
Yeah.
And then as a Calavesi, our job is to sort of advise people and advise the Steiner on courses of action that we could take.
Yes.
So I go back to a few of the people in our hall who'd followed and was like, hey, so here's a few things that we could do. Here are the risks with this plan. We don't know whether this effect is going to stick around as soon as you pick up the sword, or whether it's just when you're holding the sword. This could be a problem.
Yeah.
There are ways around it. Either way, we're putting one of us at risk. Farron was very much willing to shoulder the burden of, if it was going to be a permanent curse, she would take that. and that would be fine because it would mean that she's doing her duty. But essentially, they all just went, yeah, no.
Yeah, no.
That's not happening. So yeah, we chased him out of Anvil. Well, I say chase him. We just left. But before he left, Ferrin did go up to him and say, "So this is my name, and if you do manage to get away from your employer alive, come find me." Chucked in another the beggar's courage is with you, and fucked off.
So recruiting lost boys up in here.
Yeah, man. So it's going to be interesting to see how that turns out because I've since had messages from the guy who played this NPC.
Oh, awesome!
Like going, so what was your character's name again?
So is it an NPC and not a player?
Yeah, it was an NPC.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah, so we could have some more of that sweet plot coming to bite us in the butt next time.
That's good. I love drama.
Yeah, it's gonna be. I'm guessing it's gonna be very dramatic and funny, and I'm very excited about it.
Yeah.
Probably gonna get murdered by that guy who's now picked up the sword and is now super wrathful at all of us for sending him back to his death. Exactly. Yeah. Oh well.
But yeah. Speaking of curses / hallows on weapons, though, there was Saturday night was filled with more drama.
Oh yeah, that
surrounding Ailson again and his hallows. So it started off with someone non-consensually hallowing his spear, his big shiny spear that he mounts his banner on. I assumed it was you just because you've got a track record for these things. And I think it was hallowed with
wisdom.
It was, you're super respectful, but if someone slights you or disrespects you, then you fucking chew their face off, right?
Yep.
He didn't like that. He didn't like that one bit.
Yep.
So
it was very amusing.
Had some fun with it, didn't you?
I did. It was all very funny because Salvi, the person who had put this wonderful hallow on Ailson's spear, had actually told me about an hour before Ailson noticed. And when Ailson eventually came over to me and was like, Ferrin, this spear has been hallowed to something that I don't want it to be hallowed to. Can you do something about it? Can you fix it? I wonder who would do such a thing. She was like, oh, I don't know.
Yeah,
it's a mystery. She did know. Of course she knew. But yeah, I mean, like, I was off the hook because it's not my virtue and therefore
smart.
Yeah, it's fine. Like, not my fault, man. But me and Ailson came up with two paths that we could take for this. Either we could find someone to exercise the current hallow, or we could override it with something more awesome.
With a boosted, beefy hallow.
So clearly, because of the type of characters and the type of players that me and Chris are, we both decided, fuck it, let's do the funny thing.
Yes.
And overrided the 1 Liao wisdom hallow with a 2 Liao courage hallow.
Oh dear.
Of God, what was it? What's the hallow?
You want to expel all doubts in your friends, and you have no doubts, and you're super confident about everything.
Oh yeah, for sure. Yeah. And that was going to be super funny because, of course, Chris then took this to mean I'm going to make sure that no one steps out of line tomorrow. Yeah, you're all going to die.
Yeah. So Chris is our bannerman, and he shouts the orders at us, and we listen. So that night when it got done and he was holding the spear and role playing the effects, it was him being like, oh, we can win anything, like any odds tomorrow, we'll kill them all, like there could be thousands of them and only 20 of us and we'd do it. And then he'd put the spear down, he'd be like, you're all gonna fucking die tomorrow. And then he'd be like, here, hold this, and I'd be like, no, like, man, I don't think this is a good idea. And then I'd hold the spear and I'd be like, oh man, you're fucking right, oh, we got this shit. And I'd put it down and I'd be like, oh my god, we're gonna die.
God,
oh my god. It's like being a manic depressive when you switch between holding hallowed weapons.
Yep, especially that beefy hallow as well.
Yeah, it was a big one. So obviously you amp up the RP for it, and he was just passing it around to people, being like, "Yeah, we got it," and then like slamming it into people's chests so they take it, and then sort of laughing at them and saying, "Oh, we're all gonna fucking die," because obviously he's just if he did have this hallow, he'd be there with us behind him in a column, and he'd see an insurmountable amount of odds, and he'd go, "Yeah, we'll be fine." Yeah, just send us to our dooms.
It's it's an interesting read of that specific Hallow, but like it was really funny.
That's the thing. Since you obviously sat down with him and read him the menu of Hallows, and the moment he chose one, I was sitting there thinking, Chris is an experienced LARPer and role player.
He's gonna twist it.
He's gonna find the loophole. He's gonna twist it, like very much as a DM would whenever a player uses a wish spell in D&D.
Yeah.
You find any way to mess with it and bring it up to the extremes. And change it for some dastardly deeds. I knew that the moment he chose one, I was like, oh man, we're all doomed.
We're all doomed. Exactly. It could have been the nicest Hallow ever. It could have been like, be nice to all your friends and like don't kill people. And he would have taken that to mean, I can't kill anything tomorrow, so I'm just gonna stand here and gawk.
Yeah, exactly.
My god.
And be like, oh, the Jotun are my friends because we're trying to make peace, and therefore, yada yada yada. He'd find some way to twist it in a funny and a drama-fueled, but probably unhelpful way.
Yeah, which led us to a more hilarious part of the night, which was where Salvi was like, "Oh no, this is you've done a bad here, Ferrin."
Oh, when she found out, it was so funny.
Yeah, I missed this bit.
Yeah, I was like, I think I told her actually. I was like, "Oh, don't worry, that Hallow's gone," and she's like, "What?" It's like we replaced it with a new one. Ailson chose it. What? It's this. Oh my fucking god. That's not good. And I'm there like, we're all gonna die, Savi. Like, it's not going well. What she decided to do was find someone able to exercise it.
Oh, you say this. What actually happened was Salvi was like, Ferrin, what the fuck?
What the fuck?
What the fuck? And Ferrin's just like, I don't know, man. He asked me to do a thing. I did a thing. Like, I don't give a shit. Like, you want it gone. You want it gone. That's fine with me. I don't have some sort of personal attachment to it. It's literally just something I did for banter. I don't care personally whether it stays or goes. If you want it gone and you want me to help you make it gone, I will. You just need to ask.
Yeah.
Because that's sort of Ferrin's big thing. She will help anyone. You just need to ask her first.
Yeah, definitely.
Because otherwise she won't fucking bother. And like, so Salvi was like, okay, fine. Regain composure.
Yeah.
And Ferrin's just like, you're not my real mom.
I love Salvi.
She's so great. She's literally just Ferrin's so done snake mum at this point. She's just like, Ferrin, why are you like this? What the fuck are you doing? No, that was fucking hilarious. So what essentially happened was that Salvi ran off to find a wisdom priest, and because of the earlier antics with the spear, we knew that Salvi would never be allowed near it, to the point where one of the cousins was stood guarding said spear.
Yeah.
Ferrin, being the sneaky little shit that she is, and knowing that Ailson would in fact let her do this because she just fixed his problem, it's fine, essentially went up to said cousin and just went, I just need to double check something with the Hallow. Can I borrow the spear a sec? And he just went, yeah, right.
Yeah, whatever.
Yeah, right, fine. Yeah, I'm sure it's fine. So I snuck around the back of the tent and hid it down the side of the hall.
Yeah.
Ailson walked past it like 5 times. He had no idea. I just pretended to check my Hallow book until Salvi got back. Everything was going fine. We could totally have done it without him knowing and just taken the Hallow off without him knowing at all. What does Salvi do? She fucking bounds up, happy as Larry, whilst Ailson is stood there. And it's like, I've got the thing to fix the Hallow. And I just go,
oh no.
we were almost away, scot fucking free. Why are you like this? Yeah, it was, but yeah, we explained to him that it's probably a bad idea, blah blah blah, whatever. We have to be responsible or whatever the fuck. Yeah, and then the wisdom priests did their thing, which was my friend Aneg and or as I call him, Eggy, and another wisdom priest, and we had a very fun priesty conversation in which heated opinions were exchanged.
Yeah.
Because they were like, oh, why'd you do this? You're irresponsible, and your verdict in the synod was heretical because you're advocating for idolatry. And he's like, first of all, no. Second of all, calm down. Third of all,
maybe.
Third of all, perhaps, but you ain't got shit, honey tea, so don't come at me like this. yeah, it was a really interesting conversation to have, especially since one of the priests who was there is very very orthodox, which Farron definitely is not.
Yeah.
And so it was quite interesting conversation because the word Inquisition was thrown around.
Yeah.
She did not give a singular fuck. It's like I think that almost caught him more off guard was when he was like, yeah, should I just get the Inquisition out? And she was like, yeah, all right.
Come at me, fam.
Fine.
Dunnings have been, or people have attempted to inquisit Dunnings before. It doesn't go very well.
Exactly. So she just wasn't fucking worried at all. And it was an interesting conversation, and especially with Aneg, there's some great RP with Jamie there, where he said he basically didn't like the Dunnings attitude and didn't like Ailson's attitude of his almost he called it his arrogance.
Yeah.
Of sort of like being so proud of himself for throwing so many people into the frontline crunch. And Farron actually made him feel very bad, because she explained to him that in times such as this, with Ailson's job and with Field Commander's job, you have to develop some unhealthy coping mechanisms to deal with very unhealthy situations.
Yeah, like you try and be a bannerman and not send people to their deaths. Like, what are you expecting?
Exactly. So she kind of had to explain that to Aneg, and I think that was a real turning point there, because it had gone from a slightly heated conversation to one of, oh shit, maybe there's more to this than the Dunnings are assholes.
Yeah, I mean we are, but like
we're nice assholes.
There's something going on under the hood sometimes. Like
Dunnings have layers.
Yeah, Dunnings have layers.
Dunnings have layers.
Ogres
have layers. Cake. Everyone likes cake.
Yeah.
Dunnings are cake.
Yep, that's us.
Yeah, we are all Shrek in the Dunnings, especially the Calabassi. Anyway,
yeah, in the swamp.
In swamp dwellers. But yeah, God, what else happened on the Saturday? I think
there was some quick drama with some guy that we were looking after in our hall. He had, so I think last event, or maybe the event 4 where Warcrow died, he was quite a big skirmish commander or marshal. I'm not sure. Sorry, Dale. And he died, and I think in one of the skirmishes he led, people didn't quite agree with how he led it, and some people died. And this one guy obviously knew some of these people. I think it might have been his hall or his family or something had died on this skirmish, and so he decided to exclaim very openly in a moot that he had gone and taken a dump on Warcrow's grave. However, thing to bear in mind, Wintermark, we bury all of our heroes in the Calavesi swamp.
Yeah, so you just took shit in the Calavesi swamp.
So he, for one, took a shit in our ancient traditional burial grounds. 2, as the egregore put so eloquently, what happens when you shit in water? It spreads. So the egregore was like, you just shat on my mum. And so
everyone else's mum.
Yeah, exactly. And I was sitting next to him. And obviously, originally I was like, people were annoyed with this guy. I didn't know why. And I was sitting next to him, and people kept coming in to like talk at him and whatever. And I had to be there with my sword out, being like, you can't kill it. Like, I appreciate you want to kill this guy, but you can't kill him in our hall because we've given him hospitality.
Exactly.
Can't do it. So I'm there with my sword out, armor on, sitting next to this guy. And then I find out that he's taking a dump on my parents, my sister, my character's other sister, and various other family members. And I'm there just like, oh, the confliction.
Want to kill him.
Now, I hated the fact that I was then having to defend this guy. It was quite some fun RP with the egregore and all the people coming in to basically death stare this guy. Poor guy. I don't think he really realized he bit off more than he was willing to chew with some of the RP and wrath that he brought down upon himself. But he did well.
Yeah.
The egregore obviously there to help with RP and newer players and stuff like that. So that was awesome RP there.
Indeedy.
Drama.
Damn.
Nothing really happened with that. I think basically the agreement was he was just going to do a big public apology and
not be such of a gim next time.
Not be such of a gim. But that was pretty much Saturday, I think.
Yeah, that's pretty much it. That's it.
And then Sunday morning was the big player battle.
Yes.
Where we fought against
the Grendel.
In some like sunny Brass Coastal lands.
Yeah, man. Can you feel the sun? No.
Yeah, literally, we're walking and it starts pissing it down with the rain, and all the refs are like, "Oh, welcome to sunny wherever we are."
Yeah.
Oh man.
It's like, no. How about no?
Such a fun battle that.
So
it started off really strong because there was a bunch of wishy-washy skirmishers on the Grendel line that were just looking like they were going to harrow us. So what we did was we formed a nice column, looked like we were going to ignore them and march forward into a normal Wintermark engagement, which is a big line fight, and then we instantly turned right and just sprinted at these skirmishers, and it completely threw off the rest of the battle line because obviously they were expecting the big heavily armored unit that we are to do what we normally do and plod towards them, and all of a sudden we were sprinting and moving around quickly in chainmail and whatever. So we managed to wheel them, and it really, I think, won the beginning of the battle for the Imperial side. And it was good fun as well. I love getting to scream and shout and sprint. It doesn't often happen.
Yeah, it was awesome, especially since we fucking we went into them hard. We just fucking shoved them back as hard as we possibly could. We're all just chopping them to pieces, and then we hear, "Oh my god, war beasts!" And this fucking pincered war lobster.
Oh, the giant lobster, yeah.
He comes lumbering towards us all, and we're like, "Oh fuck."
Yeah. So we tend to do battle practice in Wintermark, and we have trained for war beasts, but putting into practice is a very different and difficult thing. And we're trained to. We have a shield line. When the war beast comes, we open the shield line, let it through, and then close so the rest of the units don't get through. Man, but when it happens,
it's so scary.
Chaos, because this thing, it's doing shatter on every single hit.
Yeah,
it's
huge.
And so I think we let it through, but we spread really thin and we didn't close up behind it.
Yeah.
And everyone was terrified of it, but it was cool. I've not really fought against beasts before. We tend to avoid them.
Yeah, absolutely.
So it was awesome to see how much it threw everything off.
Really did. I mean, it was good fun because eventually we did sort of manage to get our tactics together, and over time, the first hit with this war beast was fucking catastrophic. It did really almost break us. But yeah, then the third time it hit, we got ourselves together a bit more, and we did manage to pull off the tactic of let it through, close up, beat off the Grendel who are trying to fucking get through that hole it's just made, kill the beastie, turn back to the enemy at hand.
Yeah, it's good.
Oh, it was awesome. It was fucking great. And then we got down to the bottom of the field.
Yeah. So I think when we got to the far side of the field was when we pushed past our objective, which we needed to hold. So we pushed back past it just to give us a bit of breathing room. And as we started falling back to the objective because we wanted to hold it, Rachel, who is now joined us on the battle lines, normally having to look after her kids, but now she's full Steiner warrior. I think she's Steiner. She might be Calavasi, I'm not sure.
Yeah, she's Steiner.
Yeah, and so she, with her eagle eyes, spotted that Bron, Aaron, who we talked about earlier, had fallen down behind the lines, as he tends to do. And so we were all like, oh, he's fucking dead. He's so far behind the lines.
Yeah, and one of our majors as well.
Yeah, there was more than one. And in a very rare circumstance, the Dunnings actually went and fucking bore snouted and we charged and we went and got him back up. We don't often do that. In fact, we have a song about the fact that we don't tend to get to risk people's lives for our own.
But we did it.
We got him back up.
We did it.
Awesome.
It was great. It was.
Good photos of us charging. Because I wasn't at the point where they were bore snouting. I was slightly further down to the left, so I sprinted down the field to get to be a part of the crunch.
Oh man, it was awesome. Yeah, I just because I was using Chris's shield for the battle of that weekend. Oh my god, I love that shield so much.
It's cool. It's really nice. It's a nice irregular props shield.
Yeah, nice. Absolutely. And because normally I don't get along well with punch grip shields.
I'm not a fan.
Yeah, I find them a bit weird and sort of unwieldy, and they get a bit heavy after a while. I prefer ones I can just sort of hold on my arm. But no, this one was fucking beautiful, man. And I got it's always a nice confidence booster as well. After the fact, getting messages from people going, "Yeah, you were really scary with sword and board," and I'm just like, "It's just a really nice shield."
Yeah, it's all the shield.
It's all the shield, man. But yeah, it was a very useful item in that battle because the amount of times that I ended up having to step over fallen people and just be there taking the pummeling and be like, "Just fucking get them out, please! I'm
That's
the
my favorite.
Intrepid's here.
The Grendel had a lot of strike downs in that battle, and so quite a lot of the time I was either on my ass or using my shield to stop other people, to save other people who were on their ass.
Exactly.
It's quite a cool thing, like you said, when you step over them and you're like blocking them, and you're like, get the fuck up.
Yep. It's like, come on, dude. Come on, dude. If you don't get up, we're both gonna fucking die here.
Yeah. And speaking of which, as mentioned previously, I had a couple of close calls in this battle.
Yes, you did.
So the first one wasn't so bad. As I tend to mention, I wear chainmail, which covers pretty much like down to my forearms and all the way down like on my thighs. Like I'm covered in metal, and then on my wrists I've got leather braces, and on my legs I have greaves that are made of metal. It doesn't leave a lot of room where an impale, which is what arrows do by default, which means that if it hits a location, it goes to basically 0 hit points, where it's crippled. So you have to fall over or not use the limb. So there's not a lot of space where that can actually affect me. But as I was just walking around, about to rejoin the battle line, I managed to get an arrow right in the back of my calf, which is like my Achilles heel, I guess. So I go down like a sack of shit. And luckily, one of the new guys in our hall, one of who Claire brought along with her, he's right there, and he like lifts me up, and like my guardian angel drags me, throws me at a healer. I love a bit of healer RP, so that's always good fun. So he saves me then, and then later on, when we're defending our objective after we've saved Bronn, I think me and you are in a battle line, and we suddenly get pushed, and it's one of those times where I got completely overwhelmed. I'm being hit by like 4 different people, and it's like I've completely lost track of I like this must be more than 8 hits, which is my
that's done.
Hit.
Yeah,
and I'm just like I'm down, and like they keep pushing, so I'm now behind the Grendel line, and you catch sight of me, right?
Yep.
On the floor, fucking bleeding, and just the banshee scream.
Yep.
it was awesome. Like it was so cool. It's just the emotion behind that, as you're just fucking screaming bloody fury at the fact that I'm taking a little dirt nap.
Yeah, man. Like, Jesus Christ. The adrenaline was insane. Like, because it's already like, it's getting to that point in the battle, you're kind of flagging a bit, you're like trying to keep morale up, keep things going, and then you see someone important to your character go down, everything fucking fades away, and it's just like bright red, just fucking shrieking. So like, I'm proper going at it, sort of screaming, Raiden, no! Trying to push my way forwards almost single-handedly, just waiting for people to come and back me up, because it was like, at that moment, either we both go down or we both get saved. There's no two ways about it.
Definitely. And it's quite cool because you kept reaching, didn't you? And you're like, I got you. But then the battle lines weren't quite there. So like they'd swipe at your hands and whatever. And there was one Grendel who was standing over me. He was like, no, he's mine. Because the Grendels, as we talk about, different barbarian nations with their different quirks and whatever, they're slavers, and they'll capture people to be on their rowboats. So he's like, no, he's mine. He's not yours. And like he's fighting off, and I'm there like in between you two. And then eventually you guys push forward again, and who's there again? But I feel really bad that I can't remember his name. Daniel. Yeah, Dan. He is there again, and he lifts me up with you. And he's there giving it all that, saying, oh, they've saved your life again and whatever.
Yeah.
And I get healed up again as I'm bleeding out. It wasn't too long. It must have been only about 30 seconds into my bleed count. But
it felt like forever.
The heart's pumping at that point. Like that's one of the closest calls I've had. When the enemy battle line pushes past you, and you're like, well, this is it. This is me dead.
You usually know at that point, absolutely. Yeah. Fair enough. Not about to let that happen.
You go get some healing as well, and I'm like, oh, you almost sounded worried there for a minute.
She's like, fuck you.
Oh.
You piece of shit. Don't you fucking do that to me, bitch. Oh my god.
It was awesome. I really enjoyed it. It's the closest call I've had. Really.
Yeah, so my method of survival would be to get lots of tankards, have them on me at all times, and like tankards and champagne flutes, and just hand them out to people who've been hit especially hard by the coffee epidemic of coffee mugs going crazy.
Yeah.
And then like together we will forge the tankard and champagne flute revolutionary force, and then take down, I don't know, the Megazord Mega Cup at the beginning of
the Mega Cup.
The Mega Cup at the boss level or whatever. Like, you know how this goes.
Donald Cup up in the
Donald Cup, exactly.
In the White House.
Precisely. We need to defeat Donald Cup and steal the fucking the plates of independence or whatever.
Theresa May.
Yep. You're a teaspoon. Oh God.
Oh man, and your like motto would be down your tankard, let's get wankered.
Yeah. Precisely. Down your tankard, let's get caffeinated. Oh. Absolutely. Good. It's fine. See, there we go. World saved again. You're so welcome.
Jesus, just with tankards. LARPers would be okay.
Yeah, and champagne flutes. So like you'd have fancy people and LARPers.
Yeah.
It'd be great.
One of the guys at my work was saying like, oh, if the world does, shit hits the fan, then you with your LARPing, you'll probably be quite prepared. And I'm like, I don't want to correct him. I'll just take it. He's like, yeah, you're camping and you're cooking your food, and I think he thinks it's a little bit more period. So, we'll all be there only entirely in character 24/7. But yeah, I guess he was right. He wasn't talking about like if we have to feed ourselves. He was talking about if the coffee cups come for us.
Exactly. Then we'll be fine.
And drinking horns.
Except you've got to make sure that you have a stand, otherwise it's going to be very saddening for you when you realize you can't put it down. Yeah, your arms will be noodles. That will be sad.
Oh, it's so true.
Yep, it's okay. You've got new things now. You're fine. You can get over the trauma. I believe in you.
Oh man, it looks
yeah,
cool.
Absolutely. Thank you all for listening to this new season. Yeah. Thank you for coming back. If you've stuck around this long, I realize it was a new one, a long one for this first episode. And
yeah, well, we had a lot to talk about.
Yeah, we did. And I just hope you guys have all enjoyed it. It's good to be back.
Thank you for everyone who pestered us constantly and kept showing interest, even when, however fucking 9 months or whatever it's been since the last one. It's awesome to see.
Yes, thank you to everyone who's stuck with us and sort of stayed interested and supportive throughout this entire endeavor. We love you all. You're all fucking beautiful. And we'll
MVPs.
We'll see you in a field in the future.
Goodbye.
Math.